And welcome to the Howard Eskin Show. Another terrific guest with, I'm sure, a lot of really good things to say, and that would be former Phil great Larry Bowa, who still has a position with the Phils. Obviously, he watches the team. Uh, and he gets to see what's going on and the rest of the National League. But we'll get to Larry in a heartbeat. There's a couple of things I want to tell you. One of which is our presenting sponsor, Stillwell Financial Advisors. And Jeff Stillwell is the man. I actually talked to him a couple of days ago and got some great advice, which he can give anybody that wants to help themselves with their wealth. Stillwell Financial Advisors can help you out. Jeff Stillwell can help you out. Regular guy, good guy, and he's a really sharp guy. And his number 732-343-0813. Yeah, there's a bunch of things we want to talk about tonight. The state where the Phillies are, where the National League is. I want to talk about, and I'll say this, that farce of the way that the All-Star game was decided. Farce with just not the way it used to be. I mean, give me a break. And the best players for the American League weren't even in there trying to hit home runs. But I also want to tell you about, and we'll take a look at Phillies observations, their lineup, maybe some minor league players, and we'll do that. And I got some great Barkley Barkley stuff towards the end of the show after we conclude with Larry. But let me also tell you about our fine, wonderful people that help sponsor this show. Cut the cord with Jason Piazza Property Pros and Audi of Westchester. And right now, Audi Westchester, you can lease a new 2025 Audi A3 Quattro for only $439 a month, or a new 2025 Audi A5 Sportback for only $529 a month. All you need, $2,500 down plus taxes and registration fees to lease a new 2025 Audi A3 Quattro or Audi A5 Sportback. 36 months, 7,500 miles. It's a fun place. Who doesn't like to go in and look at new cars? Who doesn't have fun going and looking at new cars? Stop by Audi Westchester, see their all-new facility. They got a bigger selection than anybody because of the multi-dealerships that they have. 1421 Wilmington Pike. Don't wait. This special offer isn't going to last much longer. $439 a month for a new 2025 Audi A3 and $529 a month for an Audi A5. AudiWestchester.com. I want to also tell you how you can save money. Cut your cable. Get rid of the cable. It's obviously too expensive. So if you're tired of overpaying for cable, then you have to cut the cord with Jason. Jason offers an incredible service that will save you money on your monthly TV and internet bills. Now, here's what people who've hired Jason had to say. You see there, right there, Mike L. I saw Cut the Cord with Jason on Howard Show, and after years of wanting to get rid of cable TV, I finally did it. Jason came to my house, explained everything, set up the home screen to what we needed, and even hooked up my sound bar in the basement. Jason was awesome. As I said, Mike L from the Northeast. People love to cut the cord with Jason. For more info, give him a call to save money. 215-801-5858, 215-801-5858. And if you want to take care of it's a lot of rain out there, and you want to take care of your yard, you want to take care of your property, you want to have pool maintenance, you want to build a pool. It's a little late right now to build a pool for this year, but never too early to get started for next season. Piazza Property Pros with 25 years of experience. They know what they're doing. They don't subcontract. They've got a vision which can turn into a reality. Great customer service. It's a can't miss. Excavation, hardscaping, fencing, landscape, pool maintenance. You can trust Piazza Property Pros, and just give them a call and they'll work within your budget. 610-566-2608. Schedule a free consultation. That's 610-566-2608. Check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. All right. It's the midway point, although they played more than half the games in baseball. The midway point in baseball. And to take a look at that, and I got to touch on the All-Star game because I was not a fan of how it was decided. Let's bring in Larry Bowa. And Larry, you played Um, is he there, Joe?
Yeah, I'm
There
here.
we go. Uh, you played when the All-Star game meant something to the players. You know,
Yeah,
winning and losing was really important.
it was very important.
Uh,
Both presidents came into both locker rooms, American League president, National League, and they expressed how important the game was for each league. It was also a lot different, the format, because you would never play an American League team after that All-Star game. The next time you would meet them would be if you got to the World Series, which I thought was special. You know, when you play a World Series, you don't have scouting reports as far as, oh, we played these guys 9 times, or we played these guys 12 times. This is the first time you're going to play them. So the format was completely different. The game meant a lot. The game was played with 100 times more intensity. This was more of an exhibition, and it was entertaining, I guess. People like to watch that stuff. They like to watch Schwarb hit 3 bombs. And again, it's up to the viewer what they like the best. All I know is that when we played, the intensity level was off the charts. I mean, there was no microphones. There was no picking a guy up when he tried to knock you into center field. There was no pitcher pounding his chest if he threw one up and in at you. It was just different. The baseball game was completely different. I liked the way we played it. It meant a lot. And the other thing that I see happening that it's hard to relate to is guys that don't want to go after they get picked.
yeah,
Whether you can play or not, I think it's an honor. It is definitely an honor to be selected to play in the All-Star game. You're talking about you're one of the elite guys that people or fans and managers and coaches pick, and I think that it's just respect for the game of baseball. And I'm out on guys. I get if a pitcher pitched like Sanchi pitched Sunday, he
yeah,
wasn't going to pitch in that game.
right.
But you know, I wish that he would have got asked to go just to go out and enjoy the surroundings, enjoy the teammates that he would be have been with in the locker room. But again, Howard, it's a different game now. The All-Star game's completely different. It is, you know, a lot of people like that, just like the NBA, like the NFL. Uh, Back when we played, the All-Star game meant something. It meant something, and you got a lot of pride when you put the uniform on. I was glad to see that all the uniforms the guys wore were their home teams. You know,
Yep.
Yankees had the Yankee one, Schwarb had the Philly one, the Cubs had theirs. I think that was important, and I was glad to see that.
You know what? Zach Wheeler, who is having a great year, you can't dispute that. He pitched what on Saturday?
Yeah,
He could have pitched an inning, but
yeah,
he probably wanted to go home, and that's not what it's all about.
he probably could have pitched. He probably could have pitched an inning. There's more to that, I think. Without going into it, uh, I think he got overlooked. This is just
As
me.
a starter, as a starter.
And not only that, but I think 2 years ago, I'm not positive on this. I'm just trying
Right.
to put some pieces together. I think the Dodger manager overlooked him, and I don't think he forgot that. I'm not positive on that.
Okay.
I somebody
Yeah,
might want to do some
that could be
research.
that could be
You
a
know,
reason.
which hey, I don't know how you overlook Zach Wheeler as good as he's
Well,
pitched. But
Skeens has had
again,
a
that's
great
that's
year. If
another
Skeens was
story.
with a good team, he'd
Right.
probably have 11 wins by now.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, the guy's like
Or
unhittable.
you know, we really don't score a lot of runs when Wheels pitches. For some reason,
Yeah.
yeah, he could very easily have maybe even more than 11 wins, but
All
he's
right.
pitching unbelievable right now.
Let me ask you about the All-Star game was decided on batting practice with
Yeah.
batting practice. Should that be the way? Number one, should that be the way it's decided? And I'm going to lay this out for you. The players from the American League that participated have 48 home runs this year. The players from the National League that participated had 82 home runs. Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh, the two leading home run hitters in the American League, decided they didn't want to participate. Because the managers said they knew a couple days before if this happened, this would be the case. They asked guys, it's not even a competition. So do they really? Aaron Judge doesn't want to be in a home run hitting contest. I can
Right.
see that, but that's fine. I mean, but your best players, you're going to win the game, and the best players didn't. But it's batting practice to win an All-Star game. Really, that's what it
Yeah,
is.
I don't know. I think a lot of these players, especially the big boys that hit home runs, uh, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain, really. I mean, that discrepancy in the home runs, I didn't know that. That's unbelievable. And
Yeah.
again, Otani, he wasn't in it either.
No.
So I don't know what their reasoning was, but I think the fact that it didn't mean anything as far as home field advantage and all that, and of course the workload now that we hear from every team in baseball, they didn't want extra innings. They didn't want to do the ghost runner at second. So I guess if you're going to end it, that would be the way to end it. But it would have been nice to see the top three home run hitters on each team to see how that turned out. But it was very entertaining. I'm glad Schwarb won it. I was doing cartwheels when he won it. I loved it, and I expected when he got in the box, this guy can hit him. Believe me.
Oh yeah.
And but I was happy for Schwarb.
Hey, listen, congratulations. You're the MVP. It goes on your resume as an MVP of an all-star game. When people look back, they're never going to say it's because he hit batting practice pitches for home runs.
Right.
But to have an MVP on batting practice, hey, listen, I'm a purist and I love the game the way it was. And it's not going to be the way it was,
No.
but you got to have some dignity to winning an all-star. So it'll go in the record books as a National League win, and it'll say 6-6,
Right.
and then it'll have to be explained.
So far we've got a extra inning game provided by home run hitters, and then we also have a game in Milwaukee that ended in a tie that people are still scratching their head on that. But
yeah,
that's another story.
All right, so let's deal with the Phillies. The Phillies are in first place by a half a game, which is nice, but I don't even know if first place means as much anymore, because that bye has hurt teams more than it's helped them. If you get a bye in the playoffs, the Mets are good. The Phillies are going to be in the playoffs. The Mets are going to be in the playoffs. But I look at you don't realize how good the Cubs are playing this year. Let's deal with the Phillies first. What do they need? What do the Phillies need to kind of get them to the point to say, you know what, this team can win a World Series?
Just listening to our scuttlebutt and everything, I do believe that the priority is bullpen help. Again, I don't know who they're going after, to be honest with you. Whoever they get, they would like him to be under control rather than if you're gonna deplete your farm system or give up some guys in your farm system. You want someone that's going to be here more than just 2 or 3 months. If you're going to give up some top tier prospects, and you know that the person you're going to acquire is going to be a free agent, and you're going to have to probably get in a bidding war with somebody to get him, I'd be leery of that. There's a lot of names out there. I think the one thing that's difficult right now, Howard, and you follow baseball, there's so many teams right now that are in it. I mean, when I say in it, they're within 4 games of wild card stuff. 4 games is nothing.
Correct.
So there's a lot of teams that, if there weren't as many wild cards, they might be sellers now. But hey, right now, as we speak, there's a whole lot of buyers. And I think that's what's going to be a roadblock for a lot of these teams. Unless some team goes out now after the break and loses 8 or 9 in a row, then basically fall out of this thing. But right now, it looks like there's a whole lot of teams that are still involved in this thing.
Why do you think the Phillies struggle so much with men on base? They leave so many men on base and in scoring position. Why do you think they struggle? Is it because they don't try to make contact and players are locked into this mentality of trying to hit the long ball?
Well, first of all, I think that's an epidemic anyway in baseball. Inability to produce runs with runners at third, less than 2 outs. The mentality of hitters, there's really, with the exception of a few people, there's not a lot of guys in the big leagues that have a 2-strike approach. They're going to stay with their A1 swing. Strikeouts are prevalent all over baseball. I mean, every night you look in the box score between the two teams, you'll have anywhere between 15 and 20 strikeouts between the two teams. I asked an analytic guy once, just recently, I said, why is it in baseball, because it never happened with us, you play the infield in the first inning, the guy hits a triple to lead off the game. why do you bring the infield in? And he had a good answer for me. He said, because there's so many strikeouts involved, and we think that, hey, our pitcher's going to strike out a couple of guys and get the last guy to pop up or something. And we feel that rather than give up an easy out, we're going for the strikeout there. And you know what? The more I thought about it, there are a lot of strikeouts. And
too many.
His philosophy, the more I think about it, maybe if I was managing then, I'd bring him in too. But I've never played on a team ever. Teams that won a World Series, teams that were in the playoffs, where you bring the infield in the first inning. But it's all over baseball. Anywhere you turn on the TV, with the exception of maybe a couple teams, you're going to see the infield in with a man on third and less than 2 outs. And that's hard to understand that. But the analytic guy explained it to me. And the more I think about it, he's right. There's a lot of strikeouts.
All right. I just want to let people know that something that Larry says, I'm going to ask a question at the end and give you a chance to win a Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. And you will submit your response to my website, howardeskin.com, where a chance to win the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. All right. So with that said, I have, and I'm getting on the chat line here, people that have questions for you. And there's a question that I always ask, and it probably frustrates you as a baseball player that understood bat control. Why do people not choke? Why do players not choke up on the bat, especially with 2 strikes?
You know what, Howard? I think it's just the way the game has evolved now. You very seldom see guys do that. It's just, like I said, it's a different game. Back then you had guys that put the ball in play. You had guys that did little things. They'd move runners. They stole bases. They could hit and run with them. You had some things you could do as a player, even though you didn't, like me personally, I didn't hit any home runs as in my career very much. And so, but I did other things. I could put the ball in play. I could hit and run. I could steal a base. I could score from first on a double. All those little things, they were important back then. And as we look at baseball now, the analytic people, there's a lot of those things where they say, you know what, that doesn't play now. And, we like home runs. We like high velocity from the mound. We like pitchers to strike hitters out. We like hitters to hit the ball in the seats. You hear their favorite line, and it's all over baseball. Batting average means absolutely nothing. Wins for starting pitching means absolutely nothing. RBIs mean absolutely nothing. And my response to that is, the bottom line is, you try to score one more run than the other team. And when you got a guy that can knock in 100 some runs, and you got a guy that can put the ball in play with a man on third, you're going to create some opportunities to score runs. And if you watch baseball now, I'm telling you, there's a lot of balls that are hit. They're given hits to, they're errors. I'm sorry, they're errors. But I guess there was a memo that the batting averages were too low. This is the big leagues. I don't care if a guy hits me a ground ball that's 98 miles an hour and it goes through my legs, that's an error. And I'll be the first to admit it. I've seen it all over baseball, right through the wickets. Oh, but the exit velocity was 99 and the hit goes up. And that's just the way it is now. Like I said, the game is completely different. There should be 100 gold gloves given out, and there should be a whole lot of infielders that end up with 4, 5, 6 errors because they don't give them out anymore.
You know what?
Unless you make a terrible throw across the diamond, most of the time, if the ball's got exit velocity over 96, 97, they're going to be ruled base hits.
You know what? That's nonsense too, because Chip Carey, I had him on maybe a month or so ago. He doesn't use those numbers unless it's something crazy, and it's very rarely something crazy. I don't think the fans, who cares about exit velocity? The ball's over the fence, the ball's a double in the gap, the ball's a line drive. Do I care what the exit velocity is? It's just mind-boggling. I don't get it.
Well, we won a game on the road, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. We got 3 hits. The highest exit velocity was 68. They found holes. They found grass. They had a little bloop hit over first. That, who cares? They're hits. The guy battles. He's 0-2. He puts foul balls off, foul ball. Finally gets a pitch. He puts in play and finds grass. You get a base hit. 3 of them in a row. We had 3 in a row. the highest exit velocity was 67. And if you talk to people in the industry, I'm not talking about Philly, I'm just talking in the baseball industry, they will say those are lucky hits. And I have my opinion on lucky hits. Sometimes guys are battling. You're 0-2, 1-2, you're fouling pitches off, fouling them off, fouling them off. They're making good pitches. They're getting frustrated. And you finally get enough on the barrel to find a base hit, even though it's not 98 exit velocity. You get a base hit and drive in 2 runs. Hey, that's all I care about. I could care less about all the other stuff. If a guy up there battles and keeps fouling pitch after pitch after pitch off and eventually gets a bloop hit, to me, that's not luck. That's having a great at bat, fouling off pitchers' pitches, and finally putting the ball in play to find a hole.
Putting the ball in play. I saw a video today. Mike Schmidt broke up a Nolan Ryan no-hitter with a bouncer up the middle. It probably was like 50 exit velocity was probably like 50 miles an hour. Like, who cares? You say, people say that RBIs don't make a difference. Dave Parker, and it's sad that he won't be alive to go into the Hall of Fame, but at least he knew he was voted. And after over 20 years, this guy was unbelievable. I don't understand why it took him so long, but he had 100+ RBIs 5 times. That's pretty good. He had 3 batting titles. Is that chopped liver?
No.
Compared to, if you're comparing to Bryce Harper's got, in 14 years, got 2 seasons with 100 or more RBIs, only 2, one with the Phillies and one with Washington. But Parker, it's important to drive in runs. I don't even understand it. All right, let me, I'm going to ask you, we talked about the trades. Why the Phillies have one legitimate starting outfielder? Why is Crawford not up yet? We heard so many good things about him. Is he just not quite ready for the big leagues?
I've watched him for 3 years now, and a lot of scouts, I'm not even saying our scouts, think the swing might not, they didn't say it wouldn't, might not play up here. I have to beg to differ. I've watched this kid everywhere he goes. He starts out hitting 235, 240. At the end of the year, he's hitting 320, 330. He doesn't hit a lot of home runs right now. He puts the ball in play. He has a 2-strike approach. He can fly. And I think the reason you have to be careful of when you bring him up, if he comes up here, this is me speaking, my opinion.
Right.
You can't play him 2 or 3 times. You got to play him every day. If you bring up Crawford, he's got to play every day. That's my opinion. He's still too young to play 3 days and rest 3 days. So if you bring him up, that means something has to happen in that outfield right now. And I don't know what direction they would go if they brought him up. I think that would be one of the reasons he hasn't been called up. I'm not 100% sure on it, but if I was guessing, I would say that when Crawford gets called up here, or if he gets called up here, he's got to be in the lineup every day. That's just my opinion.
All right. So now Andrew Painter he's a really good pitcher. Good. Is he ready? Is he ready to come up? And I guess the Phillies have to limit his innings. If he does, he would obviously be in the rotation, and they probably need one more starter to have a really, solid 1 through 5.
I don't want to interrupt you. Whose place is he going to take?
Well,
Nola's going to be back here.
And probably August, right?
Nola's throwing. And in all fairness to Nola, he had about 2 or 3 really bad outings. And I guarantee the ankle, he didn't say a word to anybody. This guy has a lot of pride in taking the ball. And finally, he had to shut it down. So I would expect Nola, when he does come back, he's going to be fresh. He's going to be healthy. So who are you taking out of the rotation? I've been told by some people that there's no way they're going to put Painter in the bullpen because that's up and down, up and down. He's just come off Tommy John surgery. So if he does get called up, you hit it right on the head. He's going to have to start. Who are you taking out? To me, this rotation that we have is the best rotation in all of baseball. Right now, this rotation is as good as anybody's in baseball. I think it's better than anybody's in baseball. And that's the reason we are half a game in front because of our starting pitching. Our offense has been at times very good. Other times they disappear. The one good thing when you have starting pitching like that, Howard, as you well know, you don't have to score a lot of runs. And you win 2-1, 3-2. This pitching staff takes you into the seventh inning. They know how to pitch. They all don't throw 100 miles an hour. They just move the ball up, down, in, out, change speeds, get the hitter off balance. There's so many ways to get hitters out with the holes now. And our pitchers have definitely done their job up till now. They've been healthy, knock on wood, with the exception of Nola. And we'll see what happens the second half. But if Painter were to come up, I got to think he's going to start, but I don't know who you would take out.
Okay, so here's a scenario. A Ranger is on the final year of his contract, correct?
Correct.
He's been healthy, which
Yep.
has been a good thing, but there's in the back of your mind, you worry about that.
Right.
Would you trade Ranger and put Painter at that spot in the rotation?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, I'm sticking with who we got right now.
Okay.
I want Painter to keep throwing down there. And I know his outings haven't been what you call great. They've been good, but not great. And I think, in all fairness to Painter, this guy's going to be an unbelievable pitcher. He might be a little bored down there right now. You know, I mean, guys need to be challenged a little bit.
Yeah.
And he knows his arm's healthy. There's no question about that. All you got to do is check his radar gun and everything. He's throwing the ball hard. His location might be at times a little bit off, but this guy's a big time pitcher. But I would not right now. I would not mess with this rotation right now. Now, could that change in 10 days, 2 weeks? Yeah, somebody could go down. A pitcher could have 2 bad outings in a row. There's so many things that could happen between now and when you actually after the trade deadline. So, but you're right. They have an innings limit on him, which they should, coming off Tommy John. I don't know what those innings are. I guarantee you it's not 150. I think he's in the 60s or 70s. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But if you call him up, again, this is my opinion, he's got to pitch. He's got to pitch in a rotation.
All right.
And right now, I'm sticking with his rotation the way it is.
All right. I know Rob Thompson has kind of tinkered with the lineup a little bit. It just doesn't seem that it fits well together. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe because they don't make contact. You know, I like Stott, but he's not having a good year offensively. I think if he stayed in the leadoff spot and you didn't bounce him around, he would have been better. But is that lineup good enough to take you where you want to go the way it's constructed?
You know what? There's so many ways you can go with that lineup. And I think the last game, didn't they have they had Schwarb leading off, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
In San Diego. I think he led off the last game.
Yeah.
I'm not positive, but I've been watching so much baseball. You could have him lead off. You could have him hit third. You could have him hit second. You could have Harper hit 2, 3, 4. You could have Trey Turner hit 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's so many options. And I personally don't think you need to score that many runs with this pitching staff. And when you get in the playoffs, Howard, there's no 8-7 games. They're 2-1, 3-2. You got to catch the ball. You got to make the plays you're supposed to make, but you also have to execute. When you have a man on third and less than 2 outs, you got to find a way to get that run in because you're going to be facing good pitchers. You're not stringing together 5, 6, 7 hits in an inning. You just don't do that in the playoffs because the pitching, when those teams are in the playoff, the top 2 or 3, they're pretty good pitchers. And they're getting paid a lot of money to get big hitters out like Harp and Schwarb and Trey Turner and Cassidy. That's why I wouldn't be at all shocked if we didn't go out and get a hitter, but we got a couple relievers. That would not shock me at all. I still think this team is going to score enough runs with this pitching staff. And you know what? We really haven't been hot as far as
they never let the starters go more than 6 innings most of the time anyway. So you need bullpen.
Well, I know. That's what I'm saying. Our starters have been very impressive, very impressive. But you know, when you have a lead in the playoffs in the 8th inning, the game's got to be over.
Yeah.
You better have a guy down there. It's shutting us down. You need somebody to shut it down. Now, do we have it here? Yeah, we probably do. But maybe they're not comfortable right now with what we have right now. I don't know. I'm reading between the lines because once these meetings start, It's all the scouts and Dave Dombrowski, and they'll leave a hint every now and then of what they're looking for. And if you read all the articles, it looks like relief pitching is a priority right now.
Yep.
But you also have to understand, with all these teams in it, I know a couple of the teams that we really like is Minnesota. They're really not out of it. So,
No.
I mean, you're going to have some general managers saying, hey, wait a minute, we're not out of it, but if you want to up the ante a little bit, we might give you this guy. Again, do you want to deplete what's down there right now? I don't know. We got a few good players down there.
Yep.
But again, if you get somebody, in my opinion, they have to be under control for a couple of years instead of giving up these prospects that I think have a chance down the road here. It's going to be interesting because I think starting Friday, there's going to be some teams that hit the skids. I really think somebody's going to lose 8 out of 9, 7 out of 8, and then they'll probably be out of it. Then you're going to see, okay, we're sellers. I mean, like St. Louis has a closer there that's unbelievable, and they're still very much in it. They're still very much in it. Minnesota has a couple guys. I know Cleveland definitely has a couple of guys down there. So there's a lot of arms down there, and it's just going to be a matter if these general managers are going to say, "Hey, we're selling," or we're not going to sell. We're going to buy.
Okay, so who would you rank your minor league system? You said there's some good guys. We know that Painter. All right, if you had to take the next, let's say, 3 players that you think have the quickest or the best chance to get to the major leagues sooner, who would you take?
I love Crawford. I really like him. I like what we talked about Painter already. Painter, when we find out that everything's A-OK, which so far it is, and once he gets his confidence back and throwing strikes at will like he did, he's a top of the rotation guy. There's no question about that. Aiden Miller, everyone's looking at his batting average right now. It's around 230, 235. This kid right out of high school, he's playing Double-A. He's got over 20 stolen bases. He can play. Is he going to play short? Is he going to play third? I don't know where he's going to play. He can play. He's going to be a big league player. There's no question about that. There's a catcher named Tai in Clearwater. 19, unbelievable power. Got a chance to be a pretty good catcher. He's not close right now, but he's a guy that we're going to keep a good eye out for, especially the way catching is right now. Escobar just got promoted from Clearwater to Jersey. He reminds me of a young Bill Madlock. This guy hits the ball everywhere, right center, left center, hits for average. He's very impressive, very impressive. There's a third baseman down in Clearwater. His last name is Day. He's one of those under-the-radar guys. He reminds me a little bit of Otto Kemp, under-the-radar type guy. He's a baseball player. He knows how to play.
All right, so you would say the top 3.
Top 3 for me right now would be Crawford. I'm not going to mention Painter because Painter's going to be here. Painter, he's really close. So I'm not going to waste a pick here. Okay. So I'll go Crawford, Miller. I love Escobar a lot, but he's high A right now. That's a stretch.
And Escobar plays what position?
Second base. And he's pretty good. He's pretty good. So, he can hit.
So second base. So ultimately,
you see,
you could take Stott and put him at shortstop and Trey in the outfield.
You're all over that all the time, man.
Yeah, but at some point that's
gonna. I think now I'm gonna be honest with you. I usually tell you like it is. I think Trey's really improved a lot. Can he improve some more? Yeah, but Trey should have been on the All-Star team, no doubt in my mind. He had to make that team. He did. Right. So that's another snub.
All right. Is there a catcher somewhere? I
don't
know if Remuto, I don't know what they're going to do with re-signing or not re-signing.
Well, we got 3 guys that John Middleton and Dave. Well, John Middleton obviously is in charge of all that, the money. You got 3 free agents, man. Good luck. You got JT, you got Schwarb, and who am I missing? I'm missing one more.
I mean, Ranger, isn't
Oh,
Ranger?
Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Uh,
three pretty good baseball players that
yeah.
are all free agents.
So,
And they're not going to play for peanuts. I'm going to tell you that right now. So, I mean,
so if you have a catcher,
take a look at Schwarber. The only guy that's hit more home runs than him the last 3 years is Judge.
yeah,
This guy's a big time power hitter.
he's getting $100 million for 3 years. That's what he's going to get. And I don't know that the Phillies are going to pay that.
That's a lot. He might get more than that. I'm not saying he is or isn't. This guy, you're talking about a guy that's going to hit 30 to 50 home runs every year.
It's unbelievable. I mean,
not only that, what he brings in the clubhouse is off the charts.
Oh, he's a great guy.
This guy is a true leader.
Yeah. He is the leader.
He could care less about stats. He could care less. He likes to win.
That's is the leader.
He cares about.
Yeah.
He could have played 20 years ago. He can play 20 years from now. He's that kind of baseball player. He is so valuable to our team. And again, these are decisions front office people, our owner, John Middleton, is going to have to make. And they're going to be tough decisions. I'll be honest with you. They're going to be very difficult decisions. I wish they brought all of them back. From a selfish standpoint, do I think it's going to happen? I don't know. I really don't know.
I mean, there's so much money involved in it.
There is.
And if you have a catcher,
there's a lot of money.
You got to find somebody that you can replace. So who is the most likely that you could replace?
Well,
You're not going to replace Schwarber. I don't know how you replace
Marchand's a big league catcher. He's a big league catcher. This guy can catch.
And really, all you need is with the way JT is hitting, you just need a guy that's going to play defense.
Well, he can play defense.
Yeah.
And JT, if you look at what he's done the last month, his average is close to 2. He came from 220, 230. He's up to 260. The only thing maybe JT would like to do a little bit more is hit a few more home runs.
Home runs. Right.
You know, but his average is close. It might be over 260.
He's
been getting 2 and 3 hits a game for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, you're right about Schwarber. I just seeing him in the clubhouse. He is such a wonderful person, and he's so down to earth. You know, it's no pretense about him. And that's a guy could be a leader.
You know what he does, Howard, that most players today, and again, I'm talking about the industry, if he strikes out 4 times and the PR guy says, hey, they want to talk to you, there is no way that Schwarber's going to say, nah, not tonight. I had a bad night. He'll go talk, and he'll tell you exactly. He'll say, I stunk tonight. They should boo me if they booed me. Yep. He's not afraid to tell it like it is. He doesn't try to fake it. What he tells you is the real deal. And to me, this guy, what he brings in that clubhouse alone is so valuable to our team. And again, I'm not his agent. I don't know what direction we're going. These are going to be tough calls to make. And that's why the owner has a lot of money. And that's why Dave's been successful in what he's done. Those are decisions they're going to have to come to at the end of the year. And I would not want to make any of those decisions, believe me.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be tough, but other teams have the same decisions, but you got to kind of stay fresh and young a lot of times. And the catching position is really difficult physically. You're right. Yeah, and that's a tough thing. All right, let me look at the rest of the National League. If you had to take 4 teams that you think have a chance, excluding the Phillies, who would they be?
Well, the one sleeper team that they impressed the heck out of me, Milwaukee. They played the game the right way. They came in here and swept our butts 3 straight. We got to go there, and it's going to be important that we sort of even this series out because they're up 3-0 on us. And if some way we didn't win this division, just say some way, and they're a wild card and we're a wild card, and they have the advantage over us, that means the home field would go to Milwaukee if they win. They just have to win 1 game. Yep. We play them 3 times in Milwaukee. They're very impressive. The Cubs are impressive for me. I like watching the Cubs. They can swing the bats. The Mets, you can't count the Mets out. I think this owner's going to go out and make a big splash during the trade deadline. And those 3 teams stand out in my mind in the National League.
So Milwaukee,
the Cubs, they're
and the Mets.
The Mets. Well, the Mets are going to. I think the Mets are in the
more than the Dodgers, huh? More than the Dodgers.
You know what? The reason the Dodgers, obviously, with the payroll.
Yeah.
I want to see these pitchers healthy. They keep saying, "Oh, they're going to be healthy." Well, they
Yeah.
haven't been healthy all year. So all of a sudden, we're going to flip the magic wand, and they're going to be healthy. They got a good lineup, no question about that. They score runs, but they're going to need those guys to all be healthy. And if they're all healthy, then you got to put them at the top of the list,
Yeah.
just because of the payroll.
You know what, Larry, the game has changed. And when a manager, I mean, it was good that Rob Thompson, I don't know what Castellano said to him. I have no, and it doesn't matter. The fact that he sat him down is important. You got to show some authority. But most managers anymore really don't put it's not like you, and it's not like Dallas Green. And there's a lot of people that may be watching or listening that don't remember Dallas Green. Dallas Green got his point across, and that 80 team wouldn't have won without Dallas Green putting his foot down.
I agree with that.
Why do you think that managers don't put their foot down more with today's players?
I think that if you put your foot down now, this is again my opinion, that these agents that represent players now just say hypothetically that Rob took a guy out because he wasn't hustling or didn't do something that, not because he wasn't hitting, because some mental mistakes, not hustling. Right. And a lot of these agents, they'll be on the phone and say, I got 4 free agents next year, and I really don't like the way that Rob handled that guy. So you might want to tell him to back off or treat him a little bit differently. And these agents have players on every team. So if a player's feelings gets hurt, they go to the agent. The agent goes to the GM and says, "Hey, what's going on down there?" I think Thompson does a great job with this club. When I say it's a tough team to manage, they got a lot of superstars on this team. And when you have a lot of superstars on the team, you got to be a little bit more tactful in what you do. And I think the thing that happened with Cassidy, again, I wasn't in the dugout. I think that the confrontation happened in the dugout. If it would have happened behind closed doors in Rob's office or something like that, I don't think you would have seen Cassidy get benched. I really don't. But it happened in front of the whole team. And again, this is secondhand. And I think that Rob said, "Hey, I got to do something or I lose this team." And Cassidy, if you read his quotes to the end, he says, "Hey, he's a manager. He did what he had to do." So, and I think that has a lot to do with managers. They don't want old school managers. They don't want disciplinarians. They want guys. I'm watching San Diego game, and I know everybody doesn't run. I've seen guys hit ground balls that are not even halfway and they peel off. To me, it's hard to watch baseball when guys are getting paid all this money and it can't run a ground ball out. And I'm not saying run it out to blow your hamstring out. Give me 75%, not 20%. And it's all over baseball though. Guys hit ground balls, they quit running. Ground ball to second, that's an out. You don't know. You might win a division by one game. It might be because you didn't hustle on one play. To me, Howard, the easiest thing to do on a baseball field is to hustle. Play hard. It's hard to catch it. It's hard to hit it. It's hard to pitch it. All those things are very difficult. The easiest thing is to play as hard as you can, 9 innings, 27 outs. And at the end of the day, you look in the mirror and you say, "You know what? I went 0 for 4. I made an error, but I gave you every ounce of my energy." And if you can't do that and self-evaluate yourself by looking in the mirror, you got some issues. But I see it all over baseball. I see ground balls hit. Guys don't want to run. Then you see the guy make the error. Then they try to kick it back in. Then they blow their hammy out. And everyone wants to know, because he wasn't running. And all of a sudden he tried to turn it up.
Yeah.
So there's so many injuries that happen because of lackadaisical stuff that nobody wants to confront the guy. And so when he has to kick it into another gear, the muscle, the hamstring doesn't react the way it's supposed to.
Hey, I have a message here on the chat board, and one of the guy's favorite moments, and I know you remember it. You had a grand slam against the Reds in the late 70s. Is that? Yep. Do I remember that correctly?
Yeah, but
left center field. Was it left center?
Yeah, but what you don't remember, it was off Joe Horner, who pitched how many years? 18? He only gave up 1 grand slam.
Wow. Pat Milligan put that in there. Wow. You know what? I do. Well, and And
Yeah, it was the
and you
left
were
center.
probably a better right-handed hitter than a
Yeah, I was
left-handed.
more
Yeah,
power probably, but
yeah.
I did. You know what, Howard? I knew what my job was. My job was to get on base, especially early with Schmitty and Bull, and, move runners, hit and run, steal bases, make
Hit
all
and
the
run.
plays.
What do you mean hit and run? Does
Well, they
that
don't do that.
exist anymore?
Well, the reason they don't do it, let's go back to what the analytic guy says. There's a lot of swing and misses. So how can you put a hit and run on when you know there's a chance the guy's going to
Well,
swing
then make
through the ball?
contact. If you're in the major league, you should be able to make contact. I mean, the pitcher can throw a really good pitch, but
Right.
you probably call it in a situation where he's just trying to maybe throw a strike.
Right. You
Yeah,
basically when you have a hit and run on, you're trying to stay out of a double play, or
right.
the guy that's hitting is going to put it in play somewhere. It might not be on the ground. He might hit a fly ball, but he's going to hit the ball, and that's why you're not going to see it a lot with lineups that have all
Yeah,
power hitters, because power hitters, when you hit 40 to 50, you're striking out. That's just the way the game is. And when you have a lot of those guys on your team, and you're going to have a lot of Ks, it's very difficult to put on hit and runs. I remember Schmitty. I had to do a double take. We were playing in Wrigley Field. The wind is howling, and I'm getting my helmet because I was hitting second, and I'm putting my glove on, and I hear Mike tell Danny Ozark, "Hey, Danny, today be a good day to put a hit and run on with me. I'm pulling off the ball a little bit." And I turned around and I said, "Mike, pick another ballpark. This wind's all you got to do is hit it off your knuckles, and it's going out." And Schmitty looked at me like I had 10 heads. I said, "Mike, you don't want to hit and run, not with that flag."
You know what's amazing? But he was a team guy.
Yeah, he
He
was.
played the game. This phrase, "play the game the right way." Well, there really is. It's a legitimate phrase. Play the game the right way.
Right.
And if he felt like it kind of could get him back on the ball, and a hit and run would help him a little
Right.
bit, why not? Why
Oh, I
not?
mean, there was meaning behind what he said. There's no question.
Yeah,
If he kept pulling off the ball, and I just looked at him and said, "This is a bad park to do that, Mike.
yeah.
You might be able to hit one off your knuckle and hit it in the seats."
A couple of more things. Pete Rose not getting into the Hall of Fame until after he passed away is a disgrace. The guy's a Hall of Famer. I know what he did was wrong. There's a lot of
Yeah.
guys that have done things that are wrong,
Yep.
that have gotten into the Hall of Fame. The guy was just such an unbelievable play, and talk about play hard all
Oh,
the time. It was flat out unbelievable. All
yeah.
right. And the second question, and I let you off, that's not a question. I let you off the hook. I didn't ask you what's wrong with Bryce Harper offensively. I let you
What's
off the
wrong
hook.
with it?
Yeah.
I really think his wrist bothers him. I mean, I've seen this guy when he's hot, Howard. And you have too. You've watched a lot of baseball. When he's hitting the ball, like I really thought the game in San Francisco when he got the 4 hits, everything was hit the other way. That's what Harp's got to do. Harp, we could come out here Friday, and if Harp's on target or on time, he can carry this team. There's no question about that. He hasn't done it this year because of some nagging stuff that's happened. I really thought the San Francisco game, hitting the ball the other way. He got a couple of hits, I think, in San Diego. He hit the other way. I
Yep.
think he's getting close. But, anytime you're messing with your wrist, fingers, hand, whatever, and you can't really generate the bat speed that you want, it's going to affect him. It's going to affect his power swing. But I expect him. I think these 4 days or 5 days has probably helped him more than anybody on our team, because probably hasn't picked up a bat for 4 days. I know they have an optional workout tomorrow night, but I'm sure he'll be out there Friday taking extra BP. But if he's anywhere near the Harp that we know he can be, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. And he wants to play. There's no question about that. But anytime you try to get out there and things don't feel right,
Yeah.
especially as hard as he swings, he's got a lot of torque in that swing, man. He's
Well,
so
and that
strong.
probably does not help his wrist.
Right. I mean, he swings hard.
Yeah.
And when he hits them, there's no doubt about him. But hopefully he's the Harp that we all want to see. I know he wants to be out there. I know he wants to get to the playoff. And I definitely know he wants to win a World Series. So all those elements that are going right now, and hopefully this 4 or 5 days off that he's had, will come back strong, and we'll be ready to rock and roll here. I really believe. I don't believe this team needs another hitter. I really don't. I think if we fix what we have to, and our pitchers, if they stay healthy, I'll take this staff over anybody in baseball right now.
Okay. All right. Hey, it's fun talking baseball with a real baseball guy. You know, that's the thing. You talk baseball nowadays, it's they get caught up in the analytics and what they think they should say and what baseball was always been a great game, and they're trying to take it away. But I got one idea for next year's All-Star game.
All right, what is it?
If they want to make it a clown show and have batting practice to win the game, a clown, they're good with the microphones and all the nonsense, and having batting practice to win an All-Star game. Why don't you do every other inning where you have guys trying to hit home runs, and you score runs that way? There'll be more runs.
Yeah, fans like that.
I know. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just so every other inning, let's say you start after the third inning. All
Yeah.
right. Let the
Okay.
pitchers, all right. You won't get all the pitchers in, but those guys want to, let them throw for one out, and then you start whatever.
Yeah.
But you just have batting practice after the third, every other inning, the fourth, the sixth, the eighth, and make it the ninth too. And just have batting practice as the
Hey, maybe the commissioner's listening to your podcast. He might say, you know what, that might be a good thing. We got a big thing coming up Friday that is downtown that they're already promoting next year's All-Star game. We got a bunch of guys that have played in All-Star games in Philly, and we have to be down there Friday at noon, and it's going to be a pretty big affair. They're already starting the ball rolling for the All-Star game, and these players that make the All-Star team and are going to play in Philly, it'll be the greatest time in their life, because they're going to find out what these fans are all about, how avid the fans are here in Philadelphia. They love the Phillies, and God forbid we have 5 guys that are from the Phillies. Like in '76, I think we had 4 or 5 guys make it. Those ovations, they stay with you forever. And I really believe if we're well represented next year, which I hope we are, you're going to see, when you talk about a hometown crowd getting behind their players, it'll be something special. And I'm looking forward to it. And I hope we have 4 or 5 guys that are able to play in that game.
Okay. Hey, Bo, it's always fun.
Yeah, I have a good time. Even though I know that you don't like the game right now, and there's some things I don't like, it's different. And I've already come to the conclusion that I tried to fight it when I first got done, and I said, you know what, this is stupid. The game is what it is now. It's a different game.
Yeah.
There's still some great players. There's no question about that. There's some great players out there. There's some great arms out there. I will say this, as much as I love the game of baseball, I thought it was, I'm not saying disrespectful, but I can't see a starting pitcher making an all-star team after 5 starts in the big leagues. That's hard to believe. But again, it's different now. I'm talking about the guy that, and he's got a great arm. I saw him pitch 2 games, the Milwaukee pitcher.
Right.
He's about 6'8". He's got good stuff. But, sometimes you got to earn your stripes a little bit. But 5 games in, and he's pitching in an all-star game. So, like I said, it's completely different now.
Amazing. Hey, yeah. I appreciate it. We'll do it again. It's just, I have fun when I talk to you. It doesn't matter whether I talk on the show or talk in person. It's just fun. It's great. Hey, thanks, Bo.
All right, Howard. You can take care.
All right. Larry Bowa, who, it's fun to talk baseball and not bullshit. And I'll say that. I don't normally curse on here, but that's not the worst word I could say. But anyway, all right. Let me right now tell you, we had a winner from our last show who won the Oakley sunglasses. And the question was, and he took time to write his response. The question was, why is Bryce Harper, why is he or is he not a Hall of Famer? And to win the Oakley sunglasses, we had Jason Sklarz. I guess that's how you say it. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, they're not the Oakley sunglasses. They were the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. I'm sorry, Jason. Maybe you'll have an opportunity to win the Oakley sunglasses at some point. But Jason, congratulations for winning the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. And I appreciate you participating. Also, and we'll have a question. There's a few I could go to. I got to figure out which one I'm going to ask for people to have a chance to win another Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. I'll ask the question. You have to submit your entry by this Friday, July 18th. And I will announce it on the show on Saturday which the show is at 8 a.m. Um, we're live, as you know, on Twitter or X, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Subscribe to YouTube, and whenever we do a show and we go live, you're notified by YouTube. That is the easiest place to locate the program. All right, let me tell you about our fine people that support this program, and the one is our sensational presenting sponsor, Stillwell Financial Advisors, Jeff Stillwell. I told you earlier, I talked to Jeff the other day. He gave me such great insight and uh, advice on investments. Any wealth you may have, invested with Jeff Stillwell and Stillwell Financial Advisors. Great guy, knows his stuff. You talk a little sports with him. His number 732-343-0813. Also, I want to tell you about Audi Westchester, because you can have fun when you buy a car. It's fun. A new 2025 Audi A3 Quattro. All the Audi products are sensational. A3 Quattro for only $439 a month, or a new 2025 Audi A5 Sportback for only $529 a month. All you need is $2,500 down, plus taxes and registration fees, to lease the new 2025 Audi A3 Quattro or the Audi A5 Sportback, 36 months, 7,500 miles. You got to stop by. Stop by. Great people there. You'll have fun. I'm telling you, and it's fun to shop for a car. Audi Westchester, located, great facility, 1421 Wilmington Pike. The special offer is not going to last much longer. $439 a month for the A3 Quattro, $529 a month for the 2025 A5 Sportback. Audi Westchester, AudiWestchester.com. You want to save money? Do you want to save money? Yes, you can do with Jason, with Cut the Cord. Incredible service that will save you money on your monthly TV and internet bills. And Mike L. And he's one of the people that have a lot of good things to say about Jason. I saw Cut the Cord with Jason on Howard Show. After years of wanting to get rid of cable, I finally did it. Jason came to my house, explained everything, set up the home screen to what we needed, and even hooked up my sound bar in the basement. Jason was awesome. That's Mike L. from the Northeast. People love to cut the cord with Jason and save a lot of money. Here's the number. Call Jason, 215-801-5858, 215-801-5858. You want to take care of your property, and you want to make it special, right? Whether you build a pool, you have pool maintenance, whether it's landscaping to make it look beautiful, excavation, fencing, Piazza Property Pros. Remember the name, Piazza Property Pros. 25 years of experience, 26 soon, and it's their people. They don't subcontract, which is really an important way to approach this. You'll get all kinds of things done, and they'll deliver exceptional results within your budget. Here's a number, 610-566-2608. Call it, schedule a free consultation. That's 610-566-2608, or check them out at piazzaoutdoor.com. All right, there's a few things that I really wanted to talk about today. And you know what? We're going to get into it Saturday, where we're going to take your calls. First of all, I still think the way the All-Star game was decided is a joke. It's a joke. You can't have batting practice to win an All-Star game. And congratulations to Kyle Schwarber, and it goes in his resume. The MVP hit batting practice home runs. That's your and the American League didn't even use their best home run hitters. Did they really want to win the game? They didn't want to participate. You know, I wanted to talk about Paul George's injury. Sixers, again, there are always injuries. Embiid, he is not going to be, in my opinion, be ready for the start of the season. We'll talk about that Saturday. Eagles training camp coming up next week starts. And I want to talk about all this angst and anger over the rankings in the NFL, where Jalen Hurts is not a top 5 quarterback. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's about winning the game. Who cares where he's ranked? All these fans get so bent out of shape over nothing. Bent out of shape. You get bent out of shape. Get over it. We'll talk more about that. And there was an all-time Phillies team listed by Fox Sports. I want to deal with that on Saturday as well. And this comment by Aroyd, who won't get into the Hall of Fame because he cheated most of his career. But Aroyd thinks Rob Manfred should be in the Hall of Fame. Whether he should or shouldn't, Aroyd is not, that's Alex Rodriguez, if you don't know, should not be the one making that suggestion. All right. I'm going to leave you tonight. Oh, I got to give you the question. All right. The question to try to win the Chickies and Pete's gift certificate. There were so many things I could look at, whether it's the top 3 Phillies prospects, whether it's looking at the National League. Larry Bowa, he had a sleeper team, but my question is, other than the Phillies, what were the 3 teams that Larry Bowa mentioned that he thinks are really in the mix? The 3 teams that Larry Bowa mentioned that he thinks really could be in the mix. The best 3 teams in the National League, excluding the Phillies, the best 3 teams in the National League that he thinks really have a chance to win a World Series. And one of those teams he mentioned as a sleeper team. So that's the question. Submit your response to howardeskin.com, and we'll select a winner at random from the correct answers. All right, I'm going to leave you tonight with Charles Barkley. We got to check in on Charles Barkley, his golf game, up and down and up and down. I'm going to play 2 clips for you, and we're going to talk about them when we play the clips. Let's go with the first. It must have been a charity event with Bo Jackson, obviously in Alabama somewhere. Let's see the first video clip of Charles Barkley playing golf.
Nice. I told you, those days of shitty golf are over. Those days of shitty golf are over. I've been working my ass off. I'm going to play great. Every time I step on the golf course, I work hard.
I was nervous about today, but right now, I can kiss you flush on the mouth. Please.
All right. That's his famous last words. I'm done playing shitty golf, right? That's what he said. All right. He was in an event, and I don't know which event. It wasn't in Tahoe. He just played in Tahoe last week. He had a good day, the first round, and then the last 2 rounds, not something he wants to talk about. But here is Charles Barkley, and just be aware of the language, because Charles has no qualms about saying what he says when he sucks. All right, here's Charles Barkley. All right, this is a little chip shot. You're going to bump and run. You're going to run it. What are you going to do, Charles? What are you going to do here? Well, let's watch this.
Oh, you fat fuck.
What did Charles just say? He's done playing shitty golf. Okay. We left you with that. Had to leave you with something like that. I hope you got a chuckle. Thanks for all the responses on the chat board. Hopefully people asked you some of the questions. No, Charles, I see Tony says Charles Barkley doesn't have a hitch in his swing anymore. That doesn't mean he's going to play great all the time. Whatever. He kept his head down on that shot, but not good enough. Hey, thank you. I'll talk to you on Saturday, and we're going to invite you because like I said, we're going to talk about the Sixers. Back to the injury situation. It's a joke. It is a friggin' joke. Eagles starting camp and get over the angst about Jalen Hurts and where people rank him. And Philly's all-time team, which I have some challenges to that. Thanks for joining us tonight on the Howard Eskin Show. Tonight, today, whenever you watch this, have a great day and a better day tomorrow. See you later.